Wood turning.
What do we got for gallery?
Well, first up is Dale.
Okay. Let me
Switch
I
to
got-
him.
Yeah, and I got 3 of these guys that I made this week. Let me turn the light on. See that it's actually got a light on it.
Cool.
Lantern ornaments.
Yeah, I like it.
This
Beautiful.
one, that's
Slow
one
down.
of
Yeah, stay right there in one spot. There. Okay.
that's one of Martin. That's colored with one of Martin Saban Smith's Hampshire Sheen intrinsic colors. That's the sea blue, I believe, or sky. No, it's sky blue. And then a little
Tea
OB
light.
shine juice over it. It's got a tea light in the middle.
That's nice.
That's the first
Very
one.
cool.
And then here's a little one.
Oh, I love that wood.
Yeah, very
That's,
nice.
I believe that one's, the next two are box elder. And this one was finished with Yorkshire grit and OB shine juice.
Nice.
And I got one more. That was box elder
Nice.
also. And this
Well, you put
one,
any finish on the interior?
there's no finish on the interior, no.
Okay, hard to tell with the light. This.
Yeah. And this one, I put some OB shine juice on it, and then I used a hair dryer to make sure the shine juice was good and dry, and then I sprayed it with a couple of coats of spray lacquer.
Nice.
Give
That's
it
nice.
a little polish. Yes.
Yep.
I like
Good
the.
job, Dale.
And that's what I got done this week, other than my wife's Christmas present, which I can't show you until after Christmas.
Smart move.
Yeah, because she might see me bring it up or hear me talking about it. I ain't taking that.
What's that? A new lathe?
That would be my Christmas present if it was in the either one of our budget, but
There you go.
he had to quit working, so we're living just on my Social Security right now, and that ain't much.
All right. Well, thank you, Dale. Next
you.
up is Tom Kenny.
Good evening. A while back, we went to a garage sale and I bought this vase for a quarter or 50 cents with the idea, I'm going to do that out of wood. And I found that I'll never make a living as a production turner by replicating things. It's not that easy. And it was out of a piece of mimosa.
That's
I
pretty.
love the grain on it.
Oh, I
But,
do.
Very nice.
not crazy
They're
about the
very
shape.
nice, Tom.
The cheapo one that I bought at the garage sale is actually a better looking one. And I think I finished this with just linseed oil.
Yeah, grain is sure pretty. Nice
Yeah,
job,
that's-
Tom.
That's
Thank
a
you.
beautiful
That's
piece.
really pretty.
Beautiful piece.
Well, you'll notice that
Show us what you bought. Like to see how close you got.
I was just about to say there's a reason why you're only seeing this and not the original. But yes, I do still have the original in the house somewhere. But it was an
Oh, this-
interesting project.
This works good, Tom. I think you did a good job. So
Very good. Thank you
That's pretty.
much. That's all we
Beautiful.
got.
Does mimosa always look like that?
It really depends. I have some that is quite yellow, and I have some that's pretty gray, and this is a real rich brown, but the huge grain growth rings on it, and you can't hardly kill the thing. You can cut it down, and a couple weeks later, and you got 3-foot long sprouts growing out of the stump. So it's really hard to kill. And it's a messy plant. It drops blossoms and seed pods, and you don't want it anywhere near your driveway or sidewalks or anything.
Yeah.
Trees down
Cool.
south have big grain like that. They grow
Yep.
fast.
Yep. So
And how
all
does-
that heat and humidity.
How does it turn?
It's kind of weird. When you first turn it, it comes kind of fuzzy. The
Okay.
fibers lift up, and then you let it dry for a day or two, and then it sands up well.
Huh.
It's
Okay.
fairly
Like
soft
it
wood.
tears, like it tears when you're cutting it.
Very much, yes.
I've
Sounds
got a
like
mystery
willow.
wood. I got a mystery wood that has a very similar grain pattern, but it turns wonderfully.
Yeah.
Huh. Okay. Thank you.
Very good. Thanks.
All right, thanks, Tom. Nice
Very pretty.
job. Yeah. Yeah, I'm up next. So, piece I'm going to show is this ornament from last week's demo.
Nice.
Yes.
So this is the one I turned in the demo, and the little ribbon finial has some chameleon dust on it. So it looks a lot cooler in like natural light, but it looks pretty here too. It's really shiny. It changes color. It's pretty cool. So
Yeah.
I'm delighted that it survived, and you guys got to see me make it. So there you go.
You did a good job on that, Matt.
That's really nice.
Thank you. So next up is Al.
Oh, boy.
So let's see what you got, Al.
Are we supposed to make Al wait till after Ruby?
Hey, she's
Hey,
in
Ruby's not in as far as I know.
Is Ruby on?
Ruby's at Harrogate this week.
Yeah, she went to she left yesterday, I believe.
Oh,
Anyways, this whole week I have been on Fiesta. So we've been having
Beautiful.
a little bit of mariachi music tonight. What do you think?
Nice maracas. Oh, very nice.
Now it looks like the arms moved. Did the arms move, Al?
Yeah, mine did.
No.
I heard it got you.
This is my first segment.
Nice.
It's a bunch of it's scrap wood. This is 16 segments per ring, 14 rings. Believe me, it's thin.
Nice job.
Very good.
Good job, Al.
Did you do that in halves or did you do it in one piece?
One ring at a time.
I mean, when you glued it together and started turning, did you
No.
the whole thing and then turn it?
Every 3 or 4 rings, I turn it.
Okay.
And
If you
then
do it
I
two
have 3 or
halves,
4. Pardon?
and your center is your glue joint. You can do
I still have the
no,
tenon
no.
on, and then I have a piece of maple here, and then I started gluing everything onto it. Some cherry here. So, really, I maybe I just didn't hear your question. Say
Okay,
again?
if you do it in two halves, like you were making two bowls and then you put it together, turning the inside and matching it is a lot easier.
Then doing a few rings at a time?
Yep. Because you got the mass there that you can see where everything's gonna be, not just a couple rings.
I have another. Do I have a few minutes, Matt?
Yes,
What do
you
you
do.
mean?
But I've got another project started. I'm going to bring some stuff. Well, maybe I'll just bring this phone over there. That'd be easier.
That's using your head, Al.
What's that?
That's using your head. Take your phone over.
Yeah. All right. So I've got right now. Okay, if I hit this, what reverse? So I can show. Let's see. Yeah, I'm not going to play it that because it was left and right the last time. Anyway, here's what I have glued together. It's another project I've started. Can you see what I'm looking at? Or what I'm showing?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I've got 8 there right now. I have started the turning already. that's already been turned. Here's going to be, well, I'm just saying, the next piece, and then, well, up that's going to go this way. But anyway, then it's going to be like that. So you're saying make this whole other bowl again and then put it together?
Yeah,
Really? Really? I mean,
a
I'm
lot
at that
easier.
point. I'm at that point right now, as you can see. I'm at that point.
As long as you're coming back in, if it's a straight sided bowl, then it doesn't matter. But if you're coming back in smaller at the top, it's easier to do it in 2 halves.
Well, like I said, I'm at a point right now that I could do that. But then again, I would have to know where I'm finishing now. So how would I start, let's say, the top part and come down? I would have to put,
Put a waste block there
again, I
that
would
you're
have to put a waste block
throw
on
away
there.
afterwards.
What?
Use a waste block that you throw away afterwards.
Right, that's what I said. I would have to start
Yeah.
with a waste block and then come down the way
Yeah.
I would measure it going up. But then, okay, then okay, so then at the end, have this bottom part completely finished, have this part completely finished, and then you put together, but still you'd have a part in there that wouldn't finish.
It's easier to finish.
Wouldn't it be too thin to glue together?
Nope. I glued 1/16 of an inch thick together, no problem.
Oh yeah, you can get it very, very, very thin. And we're only talking about that wood, 224 segments. I think only used, I bet it'd be equivalent to a 3-inch branch, 12
Yeah.
inches long. It's like all the woods I have invested in that. I mean, it takes hardly nothing to.
But when you're turning the inside, once you get past that center part, you're going the opposite way when you're trying to clean the inside.
Right.
Okay,
Right.
when you do it the other way with the 2 halves, you're not. You're always.
Okay. Okay. Now I understand it. You'll be
All right.
seeing the inside both times.
Yes.
Okay. I understand what you're saying now.
Okay.
I got it. Yeah. Okay. I understand that. Yeah. 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 Well, thank you.
Welcome.
Well, sorry for
Cool.
taking everybody's time, but
Not a problem, Al. It's a good
I
question.
thought that was pretty interesting question.
Yeah,
So,
and some good
okay, well-
advice.
Yeah, really. I'm at that point right now. We'll see.
All right, cool. Well, next up is Dane. What you got, Dane?
Yeah, I've got my completed urn.
That moment.
Oh, yeah. Beautiful.
Very nice.
Yeah, that is.
That
pretty
looks
pretty.
good, Dane.
That's really pretty.
Pretty
Yeah,
color.
see,
I like it.
Yeah, well, thank you. So my issue with it is the prongs. I don't care for the 3 prongs. And I definitely do them differently if I was forced to do 3 prongs in the future, but yeah, it came out good. So Tom, this is what I was talking about this is that mystery wood. So it's got those same stripes and grain pattern as that mimosa, but it turned like cherry. But it's not cherry because when I put iron acetate on it, there's no tannin reaction to it.
It looks a lot
Could
more
be
like
could be a maple, Dane.
Not maple. I've got pretty much settling on crepe myrtle because of how it grew in little. There's like 3 logs around, with one larger log. And I
Gotcha.
know myrtle grows that way. So there's the bottom.
Yeah. It looks more like
Green
magnolia to me.
That's pretty.
But
That's
it's
pretty
just
wood.
this-
That's a
just this
beautiful
piece
piece,
here.
Dane.
Thank
That's a
you. So
beautiful
this
piece.
piece here is American elm. I took black grit dye, highlighted each individual grain while it was on the lathe. Dusted that back with 400. And then literally just sat here like Jackson Hewitt with my spray bottles, my squirt bottles of dye, and the lathe running, and threw the dye
Made
on
it
there
hap-
to get the pattern.
Yes,
Made it happen. Very nicely done.
Yep. Then the inside is
I have been on
natural.
Fiesta all week.
So, yeah, so that's it. That's me.
Dane, could that mystery wood be olive?
No. No.
I have been
No,
on
that
Fiesta.
it either came from my place in Southeast Ohio, or it came from Kentucky. West
The piece is
Central.
in grain, isn't it?
Do what?
Piece is in grain, right?
The lid?
No, the vessel itself.
Yeah, the vessel itself is in grain, yes.
That's typically how you turn, Brenda. When you're turning vases, it's
Or
typically
hollow
you're working
forms.
on an end grain pieces. Yeah.
And then of course I gilded the primary finial and the bead.
Yeah. Nicely
So-
done, Dane.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Dane, you don't remember any
Dane.
leaves with those logs, do you?
No, it was
Okay.
cut down
Okay.
already.
Sure.
Yeah, I don't
Are you
think it was
gonna put it-
magnolia. I've turned magnolia, aka Talfa, and it didn't represent any of the Talfa I've ever turned before. Plus the way it grew, those two grow in just one primary trunk, and they're a lot bigger. But it turned like cherry. So that's what I initially thought it was. The grain, kind of, it looks like cherry, other than the striking grain in it.
Was grown down south.
Call it what
Yeah.
you wanted.
Well, it's definitely in the South because it was in southern Illinois or southern Ohio.
Oh,
So you got the South there, right?
no.
Or
Oh.
anything below the Ohio River is considered the South. So
No.
Are you going to put it in a secure safe overnight or until you give it to
Yeah,
your
it's-
daughter?
it's gonna go back. It's gonna go back on my dresser when I go in shortly.
Very cool.
Yeah.
I'd put it in a box or something and wrap it up good so the cat can't knock it over.
Oh,
And
yeah,
put it and put it on the floor.
yeah. No cats in the bedroom, but I hear you.
Here's a piece of magnolia, and that's for a fact magnolia.
Yeah, flip over to Doug.
Is that Doug Miller who was saying that?
Yes. There you go. That for a fact is magnolia.
Okay.
There's the backside. There, you can see your dark grain stripes coming through. This was a
Right, but-
branch.
So the rest of it could be the camera or the lighting. Looks like the wood outside of the grain is quite a bit lighter.
Yeah.
Yeah, my lights. I've got a LED. It's washing everything out right now.
It's a pretty piece, Doug.
Looks a little thin there in the middle, in the bottom.
Yep, it is.
Little hole inside there too, buddy.
There we go.
No
little thin
fair
right there.
covering it up.
Little thin right there too.
You got
That-
right to the point there, bud.
That was a branch that fell in a big ice storm that hit us here in Kentucky, and but yeah, I know for a fact that was magnolia because
Yeah,
it was in my yard.
right.
But yeah, I mean, that piece you've got, it looks a lot like this, but there are differences, of course, between this branch
Yeah,
and another branch. There'd have been differences too. So who knows?
Right.
It's fogwood.
Yeah. it's-
There you go. All right.
Could it
Thank
be
you, Doug.
coffee tree?
And thank you, Dane.
Yeah.
So next up is Billy. Right
Well,
on, big guy.
I didn't, I've not been able to get a whole lot done in the shop this week, but I did get this thing finished. I did post pictures of it on our Facebook page, but I needed something for the upcoming craft fairs that we're doing, for my sea urchin ornaments and birdhouse ornaments. So I made this little deal.
Cool.
Little piece of African mahogany on the top, 3/8 inch holes drilled. I turned the, this is not dowel. I actually turned it from small limbs of
There you go.
something. I did cheat though. This is PVC. And this piece of wormy looking oak was veneered between some mahogany veneer came out of that old piano I've been making stuff out of. So, but it works. It sits. It'll hold 12, and well, it'll hold 12 out here, and then I can put some of the birdhouse ornaments here on the inside. So it not much, but hey, it's
Just,
done and it works.
just put longer, if you put longer leaders on it, then you can stack them and you can get more on there.
Yeah, I could. My wife said you could put another one up on top. And I could do that too. The main thing is I don't want the wind to be able to blow it over. And this
Right.
thing, it's not going
It
anywhere.
ain't going anywhere. Yeah.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, I
That's
made
in your
something
gale.
similar. So, yeah, nice job.
Other than that, I
Very
did get
cool.
one more. It's finish is drying. It's out in the shop. I did get one more urchin ornament finished today. But anyway, I've been trying to get stuff done, and yesterday was not a good day.
Sorry to
My
hear that.
Meniere's raised its ugly head, and I was down for the count.
Mm.
But I'm better today, so
That's good. Thanks,
so
Billy.
thanks.
Yep. Next up is Doug. You got more to show us, Doug?
I do. Sorry I had to drop out last week. My knee was killing me, and when I'm here in the shop, I'm standing, so it's just the way it is. Anyhow, a couple weeks ago, I was doing a show, and they asked me to demo while I was there, and I turned these nice little cherry plates, nice and thin.
Cool.
Just those are what, one's 4.5, I think it is. So that was real fun. Abrasive paste and wax on those, gave them a really nice shine. Turned a piece of Padauk. I hate Padauk. It comes out, gives you a beautiful finished piece, but I hate the dust and all that comes off of it, and it just I don't know. I just personally don't like it. I've got an order for 6 salad bowls, and I went and got some wood that I was told was walnut, got it home and started turning it, and folks, that is not walnut. That is
No,
oak.
it isn't.
That is
Yes,
oak,
it
oak,
is.
oak.
Yeah.
All the
looks like red oak too.
I don't know. It may be. What you are not seeing very well, maybe you'll see it better in the other half of the same log. Lots of wormholes there. Yeah, you can
Oh,
see
yeah.
those. It's just eat up with wormholes. That
Oh, wow.
outside edge
Yeah.
there is just eat up.
Oh.
But
Well, that
you
one
know,
looks
they
like
won't
it's
hold.
like that one looks like it's got some ambrosia in it.
It's spalting. Well,
Okay.
trying to drop it. Yeah, I've got spalting in both of those and wormholes in both of them. They're no good for salad bowls, but they'll be
No.
fine to put on a shelf somewhere. And then
Good
yesterday,
diet bowl.
yeah, exactly. Put all the potato soup in there you want. You're not going to get too fat with it. Yesterday, I decided I was going to turn something a little more out of the world. And so I turned this nice little lidded bowl. The rim turns. So
Wow.
that was a lot of fun. I had never done that before. And I kind of got browbeat by Ruby and Wayne to make that where it would spin. And so I did it and it worked. It worked. This was a recess, and I really didn't want to take any more height off my lid. It's short enough as it is, and so I grabbed a piece back here. I thought it might be walnut, but it turns out I'm pretty sure it was mahogany. Same with the little knob. Those are 2 pieces. I just turned those real quick. But anyway, just it's not a snap fit at all. But there's no wiggle room in there. So it's a good fit. And I got my ring where it would turn. This is basswood. Everything except the little insert. That's basswood. So and it came out really nice. I've still got to buff it, but I took the bottom completely off, so it's a nice round bottom. So I'm hoping it's gonna be a little lopsided and sit a little sideways once it's all finished and on a nice surface. So anyway, that's what I've done over the last couple of weeks.
Very nice.
Really pretty. That was a nice piece. That was a nice live.
Thank you.
It was pretty. Very nice.
Next up is Charlie. What you got, Charlie?
I was making tree ornaments too. Great minds must travel alike.
Nice.
That one was oak. These I haven't finished and put the lights in. They're made out of apple.
Oh, cool. I like that
Yeah, those are
square
pretty.
area on the one on the left. The middle ring. Nope, you're on the left.
Oh, this is my left.
My left. Cool.
Yeah, it's a nice design. Very cool.
They're kind of like old railroad lights and gas lanterns. My wife's cousin had a 18-inch across apple tree come down in her yard, and I got most of it. Out of some of the branches, I've been making little bowls.
Beautiful.
Those are
And
great wood.
that's tung oil finish, sanding sealer, and then 3 or 4 coats of tung oil.
Cool.
Excellent.
And then I made a bigger
Well done,
bowl.
Charlie.
It went boom. I hit a crack in it and it went all over. All I could salvage was enough to make a small plate.
Ah, still pretty. It's got some ambrosia in it too, don't it?
Pardon?
It's like it's got some ambrosia in it.
Yeah, it's starting to spout. That's all I have.
Beautiful.
Right on,
Thank you,
Charlie.
Charlie. Very nice work, Charlie.
Nice work, Charlie.
Thank you.
Very, very nice.
Next up is Dave. What you got, Dave?
Oh, I had some random things I was making this week. We've got some walnut in the center. We have some doweling that I found sitting around, and some sycamore, and another one that's fairly similar, just sort of playing around.
Cool.
Drill the hole too small, but I'll have to drill it bigger. It's gonna eventually become a, birdhouse, I guess, both being ornaments. And I don't know what this is. I think this was sycamore too, just a little coin container, and none of them have anything on it yet. I've just been happy I've been able to find some time to get out in the garage and do anything at all.
Nice.
And that's basically where I'm at this week. I've not guaranteed, but promised myself I'm going to try to get out there at least once a week for the rest of next year. I don't know if I'll make it this year, but I'm trying.
There you
What
go.
you just did is very nice. That's very nice. For
Well,
sure.
getting shop time is in any way is a good thing. So
Exactly. It's really hard sometimes.
You should up that to two times. And it should be all day
I'm gonna work
Saturday,
on that.
all day
I-
Saturday and all day Sunday.
Probably all day Saturday, maybe all day Friday. I don't know about,
There, well, one, that'll work.
but I'm gonna
Yep,
work
It'll
as
on
long
make
as
it.
you get there.
That's my goal
As
for
long as
next
you get
year.
there.
It'll make you
And we
younger.
wish you success with that.
I hope so. I hope so. I need something to do that.
So I want to thank you, Dave, for all the hard work you put in on the website and getting the videos and stuff up. I really appreciate it.
My
So-
pleasure. I love doing it. I wish, I just had more time out in the garage. Doesn't happen.
Yep.
It has nothing to do with the website. It has more to do with, how well I can do getting around.
I
Understandable.
understand.
Yeah.
All right, well, next up is Jim Duxbury. What you got, Jim?
Ooh, let's see. Dave, if you want to get wealthy, you don't make little coin bills, you make big ones.
I know I'm not gonna get wealthy on what I turn. That's the beauty you've got.
That's Ash. And Rita did a job on the beading or on the side.
Oh, nice.
Ooh,
Kind of changes it, adds a little to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like the shape, Jim.
Thank you.
I like the shape a lot.
Thank you. When I rough them out, I just guess at a shape and then I refine it later.
Pretty colors there too.
Thank you. And this is a bottle, a maple bottle. I built a fluting jig and now I'm practicing fluting. So these are,
Cool.
I have another piece I almost got done, but
And then the circling will come soon, right?
the what?
The from top to bottom, it'll be a wave. I don't know how to explain what I'm saying. Right now, you have straight flip.
Yeah,
You're gonna probably have. I'm sure you're gonna figure out how to turn the bottle as you're turning your router or whatever. And make,
not yet. That gets into ornamental. I've thought of that, but no, that's another world.
yeah, you have to make some gears, and I'm looking into making a spiral fluting jig myself. I just haven't got there.
Yeah,
yeah, spiral fluting jig, right.
Progressive turning and that sort of, in fact, yeah, maybe someday. Right now, I'm just making this, and I've got another piece out there that I almost got it done, but I had to clean gutters today, so I had the famous wood turner has to clean gutters. Can you imagine that? Anyway, my wife didn't buy that. That's it.
Nice piece, Jim. Really nice.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, that you always give me ideas. I'll tell you, Jim. Thank you so much.
Oh, I got ideas out the years. More
I hear
ideas.
you.
More
I like to have a
ideas.
beer with you. I like to have a beer with you sometime.
I got stuff
cool,
half
Jim.
done. I got stuff I started and I got a better idea. It's still laying there.
How far away are you from Charlotte?
Charlotte, probably hour and a half.
Okay. My brother lives down there.
Yeah, I've been sometime.
Yeah, my goodness. Believe me, you're very inspirational.
Thank you.
Jim.
Very cool. Next up is Sheila. What you got, Sheila?
I wasn't expecting that quite so fast.
We're charging through the list.
Okay, so I did a couple of light bulb ornaments. So while this was starting, I glued in the lights, and I'm hoping they'll work. I don't know if I guess it kind of shows up. It's not too bright in here, but I kind of got too much wood. These were my trial runs. The blue one doesn't show much light at all through it. It's just a
Might
little
glow in the
thick.
dark.
I love it.
probably too much pigment in there. But I've had my red turn out orange, so I put a whole lot of pigment in both of them. And then I did this one that is kind of a little lantern ornament. Oh, that's bright. Maybe if I hold it down there, it's not so light, but
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, they're very pretty.
That's very pretty. That's
Yeah.
right. So did you make the cut? That you made the cut before the turning? I mean, that's a lot of big cut before turning.
no, I turned it, hollowed it out. I didn't have I made the top part separately, drilled it out, and then I cut it when it was thin with a little Dremel bit saw blade thing.
That's a
I
lot
love
of
it.
work.
I
You
love it.
did really nice. That's
Yeah.
a lot of work. You did nice.
Thanks. I got another one halfway done on the lathe.
Well done.
Thanks.
Good job, Sheila.
Very cool.
Thank you.
All right, Dane.
What
that's all I've
light
got
have
on
you
my-
got in that little ornament?
Sheila, they're asking what light you have in the ornament.
You're muted. There we go.
Okay, shoot, I don't think I brought in any that I didn't use and glue in. So it's just a little, they're a bit over an inch long. They have the top screws on, and there's tiny batteries inside. So the light's down about that far.
So they're like bullet lights or whatever they call them.
Yeah, I'm not sure what they're called. It was an Amazon buy, so I can find a link in my orders and post it in here. And
Okay.
show
It'd
you
be
what
great
they
to
were.
see it in chat. That'd be great.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
Thank
so
you,
you
Sheila.
just keep turning until the light turns on or it screws on, so. It was Carl Jacobson I saw do this on his turning channel.
Okay,
So
cool,
I'm kind of copying off of him.
Right on.
cool.
Thanks.
Those are
Thanks,
paper
Sheila.
balloon lights, Matt.
Yeah, we talked about those in here before. I have some somewhere. So, so yep. Okay, so that's all I've got on the list, Dane. So I'm going to switch back over to you.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So we'll queue up the demo here, and as soon as I say a couple things. So Sue wasn't able to join us tonight, so we don't really have a safety moment. But she asked me to say something about something, and so she said to try to keep with the theme of little things. So what I would say for your safety moment for this week is take care of the little things. And if you can take care of the little things, the big things are going to fall into place for you. And so with that adage, very sound adage, let's go to our featured demonstration for the evening. Roger, you're up. And then so Roger's going to be doing the demonstration tonight. So he's going to be playing a recording. He may be doing some ad hoc narration over the recording. So let's hold our comments and questions until the end of the demonstration, unless Roger solicits said participation from the folks. Roger, I am going to mute everybody. You will need to unmute yourself.
All right.
Okay.
Okay, here's the piece that I turned. As you can see, there was a mistake in it. And you'll see it in the tape. So I've got this recorded, and this is my first try at recording and doing a demo. And there was one part that I thought recorded that did not. So I will have to talk about it later. So let me hit share screen. And where'd it go to? We started off this project. Is that working?
Well, we can hear you, so hold on a minute. You gotta do your share screen.
I thought I did. We started off this project.
No. Here on Zoom. So you gotta have the video ready to play. And then
I did.
you do the share and then do the share screen on Zoom. There it goes.
Okay.
And then turn your volume up.
Your wood together to make your staves.
Got it. It's playing.
This is a board. It has 9 layers, approximately 1/4 inch each layer, makes it 2 1/4 inches total thickness. I'm going to cut it into staves like this. There'll be 12 staves. I didn't go through the whole thing. I just edited parts of it so you could see how things were done. Bring our staves to the proper length. Okay, now we have it, the staves all cut the length, glued together, or it's not glued together, but ready to be glued together. I just need to cut the veneer that goes between each stave, and then I will glue it up. You'll see I have a dowel rod on that side of that block. So when I glue it together, it'll be in 2 halves. So I can true it up before I make a solid piece out of it.
What type of veneer are you using, Roger?
I don't know, it was some black veneer that I bought. It's poplar that's been dyed black. And I bought it while I was still living in California, and I've had it probably 8 years. It's starting to crack and fall apart, and of course, I thought the paper wouldn't get so much glue on it, but
Roger, could you explain the dowel on the piece again?
well, I put the dowel in there, so as I glue it together, I'm gluing it in two halves. And then I can true it up and make sure it fits tight together, because I cut it on the table saw and I checked it, it's a 15-degree cut on each side, so which makes 30 degrees, but it could be 29.5 degrees or 31 degree. I wasn't, but I know that, putting it together in halves, then I'll run it through the planer in the two halves, and I can make sure it fits tight together. Just how I learned to do things. I had all those clamps close to the right size, but it sure seems like it takes a long time to clamp them down.
Guess using an impact wrench wouldn't be viable, huh?
Yeah, and the thing was, I had one on the shelf right behind me, a little screwdriver impact wrench.
Bird's mouth joint. It's the first time I've ever heard of it.
What's that?
Have you ever heard of bird's mouth joint?
Yes.
Okay. You ever do staves that way?
I haven't done stays, but I've done table legs that way. And I don't have a shop vacuum in the shop yet, so I have it so it blows the dust out into the garden.
It's a good idea.
And now that I have the two halves wrapped, I'm gonna glue it together so we can turn it. I forgot to get my roller out, so I had to use my finger.
It's like you really soaked the wood with glue.
It's mahogany, or no, hickory and walnut. It works great. I probably use more glue than I should, but I'd rather deal with a squeeze out mess than not enough glue in a joint.
True. About how much I put on my cutting boards for glue ups.
You can see how that piece of veneer is cracked completely in two, and I put tape on it to hold it together until I was ready to glue it. And now I'm going to start turning. As you can see, they're offset about 3/4 inch offset at both ends.
Roger, what was the approximate off center on that for the offset?
3/4 inch on each side.
In opposite directions.
Yes. You already see where the walnut layer is starting to show through.
Yep.
Not a very fast turner, I'm sorry.
Nothing wrong at all there, Roger.
No need to apologize.
What speed are you turning, Roger?
Around 600 right here. Unfortunately, with this lathe, I have to move the belt to change speeds, so I don't change it as often as I should. But now that it's pretty much true, one of the times when I stop, I'll change the speed to speed it up a little bit. Stripped the piece off there, but I wasn't worried about it. Now I flatten the ends.
Funny how when you're turning offset, the wood never wants to give itself up easily.
Yeah, it doesn't. Now I'm gonna put a mortise on it so I can put it in a truck. Okay, I turn it around now. I got it. One side flattened and hooked to the tap. So now I may finish flattening the thread. Now you can see I'm starting to drill with my Forstner bit. This is going to be the bottom of the vessel. We got the lathe speed down to, I think it's 230 is the lowest that lathe will go. I only drill about halfway through, hollow the bottom half, and then turn it around and do it the other half. Okay, now I have a live center inside, so I can start to put a little bit more shape to the container. Now time to start hollowing. The tool works pretty decent as long as you're going about 4 to 5 inches deep. Deeper than that, it's just not heavy enough.
Which hollower are you using?
It's a simple wood hollowing system. It's an articulating arm. It's got the little cup end on it. That's real aggressive. This is where I need air. This is where I should have checked the wall thickness a little closer.
Meet your threshold?
What's that?
Did you meet your threshold?
I did. And I went through. Now there's where I lost a tape that I thought I recorded. I showed how I put a sleeve on the inside and put a piece of maple down on the other side to check to, so I could finish turning. Getting a little bit of vibration, so I put my steady rest on. The one I built, it's not the greatest, but it works.
Roger, what's the height on your vase?
What's that?
What's the height for the vase?
It'll do 16-inch total.
No, not on the steady rest, but on the vase.
It's
8 inches, 9.
I can do
Yeah,
I could do a 15.5-inch bowl.
no, on the vase itself, the vessel you're turning, how long is it? How
Oh,
tall?
about 10 inches,
Okay.
10.5, about 10 inches. Yeah, closer to 9, I guess. Okay, now I'm putting milliput in. I'd never worked with it before, so I thought I would try it. I'd remember when I put the two halves back together that I had to line up the segments back to where everything matched. And sorry about the radio being on. Seemed like I was the
Oh,
only
sure thing.
time it picked up.
Not hearing anything.
It's gone now, but
Ah,
it'll be back. Okay, now I've decided that I needed to put an end on the, to make it a little smaller. I didn't want a big hole there to where you could see in and see the patch job. So I just took some of the scrap pieces of the staves, made a little block, turned it, glued it on. I'll use about a third of it. I almost did it.
yep.
I'll leave that tool there.
Old habits hard to die.
It is. That's the first time I've used Yorkshire grit.
Was it the last time too?
I'll have to use it up. It took quite a while to get it all out of that milliput. Time for the little one. Cut it off, that's it. Yeah, you laminate your wood together to make your stays. Okay.
Yep.
Very
This
good.
is-
Thank you.
Great demo, Roger.
9 layers. Just a second here. A quarter inch.
Go
So
back to screen share.
There you
Okay.
go.
here's the piece. As you can see, it's got maple in the bottom. A small hole.
That's really nice how you got there. Really was. That was pretty
And you can
enjoyable.
do This
That
shape
is
also.
really interesting.
I love that.
Yeah,
Love
Wow.
That
nice.
pretty enjoyable.
Yeah, but he did a great save too, guys.
Yeah, he did.
Thank you.
Yeah, he did.
He sure did. And you did it so quickly. I was like, oh my gosh, I'd have never gotten to
Great
turn that
demo,
back.
Roger.
Well, it took 3
That was
weeks.
good. Yeah. That's what I love about a video. You didn't, they think you just look so good because you get it done so quickly.
Yeah. So now here are what the stage would look like.
Okay. You say you cut that.
When I ran it through the planer. When you cut the staves, you've got a piece that you don't end up using. So you make it flat on this side. It's got the right angles here.
Hmm.
So when I run it through the planer, now I've got I can get a flat surface there.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Genius.
Yeah.
I've done it with the thickness sander and I've done it with the planer. Some woods, the planer tears up a little bit because of the different grains, but it's quicker than the thickness sander is.
Yeah.
So,
Great
like I say,
job,
this is
Roger.
my first demo for you guys. And I wasn't for sure how to do it all, but hopefully it turned out decent.
Turned out really
Turned out excellent,
Now we expect more.
right?
What's that?
Said now we expect more demos.
every other
Oh,
week.
no, not more.
Nice job, Roger. I understood everything you did.
I wanted to show the first part so you could see how to build it. Turning it's easy. It's the building it that takes the time. So,
Right. Excellent job.
Yeah.
Anybody have any other
Building.
questions for Roger? 9? All right. Well, once again, thank you very much, Roger. I really appreciate it.
thank you.
All right. Something that's supposed to, let's see, let's go to Mr. Duxbury. He's got a router jig that kind of piggybacks off of this.
Hey,
Jim.
Dane, before you go over to Jim, can you have him explain that bird's mouth glue joint?
Yes. Sorry. Roger, can you explain what the bird
Okay,
mouth
design a
joint is?
pendants that you made. You're gonna give her.
Okay, on the bird's mouth, it's set up at a 45-degree angle and it's just got a groove in it where it actually interlocks itself back together. So it's good for, anyway, the bit that I had is good for I used it making hollow table leg. I could go out and get the bit, but it'd take me a while. I can have it next week so you can see one.
Yeah, next week will work.
Okay.
I'll have to look it up.
Yeah, if you follow the link that was in chat to the bit on Amazon, they show examples of what that looks like and how to interlock them. So you get an
Okay.
idea about how that works. So there's some stuff on that page that shows you.
Yeah.
Now, is
So
it
thank you.
normal when I'm doing screen share that I don't see any of the messages and
Yeah, that's normal.
chat? Huh?
Yeah, that's normal.
Okay.
Yep. All right. Thank you, Roger.
Uh-huh.
All right, Jim, now we got you.
Gotcha. Someone asked if I'd show what I have of my router jig. Can you see that now?
Yes.
Okay. I made a table and a holder for a Bosch Colt router. And this is what it looks like. To get the height right every time, I made a steel sleeve to fit around the tool rest or around the tool rest. So I've got it exactly the right height. The center of the cutter now is right at center. The piece I have in the lathe is just a test piece, an old blank kicking around. This thing on the end is not aluminum. That's Masonite, painted aluminum so I can see the numbers. But you can see this is in every 5 degrees. And then I have a vernier to get to 1 degree if I want, or split, I can go a ½ degree if I want. And this stainless steel leaf here pushes in and out, so it locks it dead on in position. Let me see if I went the right way here. No, I went the wrong way. Wait a minute. That's what the front of it looks like. This is a 90-degree cutter. I found out there's 2 kinds of cutters. Some are 90 degree and they're flat pieces of carbide, and they're used to mount in like a router table. And it looks just like the other cutters, but when they turn, the bottom right at the point is 2 square pieces, and that leaves a flat in the bottom of your 45-degree cut. Not good. Anyway, this slides back and forth. There's a fence here. There's some screws in the front of this. Oh, maybe it's in the later model. This was developed. So there's screws in the front of this. So I can run the screws out and the screw heads hit against this fence. So I can angle this a little bit, or I can get real fine adjustments. That's what the bottle looked like after I got it turned, or after I got it done, and then I turned and sanded it. This is on a small lathe. This is turned with a wooden cone center on both ends, I think. This is the next one. This is glued up out in the shop right now, but by setting this table each way, I can get a flute on the outside. These are set at 30 degrees, and the center one here would be at 15 degrees. So you can see I have 30-degree settings on here, and I have 15-degree settings in the middle. So rather than have a indexing plate with different number of holes, I just divide it up into what it is degree-wise and set it on my thing. Each one of these has a little slot for every 5 degrees. Or if I go in between there, then I use a clamp. That's what it looks like on the side. This piece here now will stay in the chuck. I unscrew this, put it in a vise, and a square piece, a block will fit in each one of these, and that gets glued up. And that's where I'm at right now. These are all little square blocks that's maple with Wenge glued into there. with yellow glue, and I do it in 3 segments so that otherwise it gets too close together. The clamps get too close together. So takes a while to glue up. Takes a good day and a half to glue it up. So hopefully next week you'll see it.
Cool.
Oh, that's it. That's another one. That's it.
All right. Thank you, Jim.
Sure.
Thanks, Jim.
Yeah.
All right, Matt, you've got something, don't
Really
you?
cool.
Yeah, this is a thing we talked about. I don't remember if it was after hours or a couple of weeks ago. But what I did is I took a spade bit and modified it. Hello? At any rate, and I just all I did was I made it circular, and then I don't know if you can tell, but I angled my my sander 5 degrees and put a 5-degree bevel on the edge on this edge, and then one the other direction on the other edge. So all it is circular. Now, what it's for is it's for these things to do the to after you Forstner bit it or drill it, this cleans out the hole in the bottom there. Okay. And this is a 3/4 bit. So I'm drilling a 3/4. So the ones I did in the demo, when I made these in the demo, it was a 1/2 inch, and I used a Dremel and some carving tools to clean up this section in the bottom. But this eliminates a lot of that extra work in the bottom, and it worked really well. So I'm really happy with it. And what I'm doing with it is this is a piece that needs a little bit of sanding. So this is an ornament, and it's got a little finial that goes in the top here like that, and then this will go in the inside here like that for an ornament like that.
There you go.
So it needs a little sanding, and it's not finished yet, but
It's a
anyway, this
pretty
is something
idea.
I turned.
That's a
Yeah, I
pretty
got this
idea.
from this is a from Alan Stratton, one of Alan Stratton's videos. I got this idea from his, but I really like the shape of this little finial in the top, so I'm going to do more of those, I think. But anyway, that's a general idea, and that's what this is for. But it's for making a larger spiral ribbon finial.
I
I'm
made
using
one.
sandpaper and
Very nice idea. Love it. Gonna have to make one of those.
I have not, Tim, not thought about using a sandpaper and a small mandrel just because there isn't any room. Yeah, I don't know how I'd get it down in there because it's it's very tight tolerances. This is a 3/4 inch. This is a 3/4 inch drill hole that drills this out. Okay, so it's a lot easier to do all the sanding and stuff after you've carved it out because you can reach all of these surfaces in here, and I can really in very short order with the Dremel sanding drums I can get that all cleaned out and sanded very just in a little bit of very simple. But I don't know how I'd get it down in there. I'd have to cut a dowel. I'd have to have a dowel or something that was smaller than the 3/4 inch in order to do it, to get it in there, because the sandpaper would add stuff. So
Yeah, I was thinking of a dowel, Matt.
yeah, I'd have to turn something, I
with
think.
a little cushion on it and some sandpaper down at the bottom. On the
Yeah, I have some sanding sleeves. And I have some long cylindrical sanding sleeves,
Yeah.
and I have tried that on them, and I was just not happy with it. It was, it was kind of out of control. It was too much surface on the. On it.
Just
So
a thought.
Yeah, well, I appreciated it. You never hurts to have ideas, right? So, but anyway, that's what I got. So I don't have anybody else on the gallery list. So
It's top of the
I guess
hour
we hope.
anyways, so.
Yeah, but it's only 9, so we've got another hour, Dane. So
Oh, a damn time change getting me again. Sorry.
yeah.
Jeez.
So we can open up the floor here, unless anybody else has some gallery items or anything else they want to talk about.
Well, let's go back to Captain Eddie. I need to get his thoughts on the demo that he saw tonight. Captain Eddie, you still there?
No, he's not on, Dane.
Oh, damn it, he was on. How about
Hey,
that?
Matt. Hey, Matt.
Yes. Yes.
Hey, remember, back when you did the demo for that, the ribbon finial?
Yep.
Remember how a couple of us, instead of, we carving it, we cut it. Have you done that yet? Remember how we were getting 2 out of 1?
You mean you were carving two spirals instead of one?
Yeah, we were getting another finial out of the ribbon. Remember,
Yeah. I have not done that
Terry
myself.
down in Texas, and he
Yeah.
said it. I said, yeah, I did the same thing. Remember? Have you done that yet?
I have not. Dane, that's how Dane
Really?
did his finial on the top of his. I'm delighted with these. Okay. I think that's really cool.
But I'm saying we were getting a second finial out of that one turning. Remember?
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it was still great.
Well, thank you.
Gene, I really like gold leafing. Is that hard to do? Is that?
No.
No, I don't find an issue with it. For me, what I do is, I think key is getting the proper cure time on the adhesive that the, as they call it, a sizing, but it's just, may as well be white paste glue that's watered down that the kindergartners use and eat. But you get a nice even coat of that. And then for me, I've found in my conditions, 30 minutes is perfect. And then I put the first layer on, make sure I get all the excess brushed off, no bumps in it. Well, one, you got to start with a pristine surface. I'll do typically I'll seal it with linseed oil, and then over that I'll seal it with the Parfix CA, and then I'll do the sizing. Wait 30 minutes. Take the gold leaf, put it on. Use the fine brush to wipe off the excess and make sure everything's all smoothed down. Then at a distance I'll take the air gun, to go ahead and blow off any of the residual that is, because static is horrible with gold leaf.
Okay.
And then I always put a second coat on, so I'll repeat the sizing, wait to 30 minutes, and then add another layer, and and then I'm done with it. But yeah, it's as far as it's not difficult. It's a little bit messy.
Really looks like class. And do you have to sand like the 600 or 800 or something?
No,
whatever your final finish is that you use for your turn projects. The big thing is with gilding, if you've got a tool mark, you got a hump or a ridge, it will highlight it.
Yeah.
Or sanding grooves from your sandpaper. Say you started with 80 grit, and you didn't get those little micro rings sanded out. That gilding will just highlight it like a sweet potato roll in an onion field. So.
Okay.
So this is the metal leaf size that I use. It's exactly what Dane is saying. It's a white adhesive that dries clear. I reread the directions on this before I used it this past week, and it says 15 minutes before you let it sit for 15 minutes before you start applying stuff. You apply this is for gold leaf, okay?
Yeah.
Or for leafing, and when I did the chameleon dust on here, on this finial here, it's done exactly the same way. You brush it on, you let the sizing sit for 15 minutes, and then you brush it on and brush it off, brush the excess off. And this was sanded to 220 grit, okay?
Okay.
So it doesn't have to be, and I mean this looks just like smooth as smooth,
Yeah.
So
something else that you can use is, if you don't have any sizing, So I know on some of my jewelry caddies that I was making a couple years ago, my I don't know what happened. I cross-threaded the sizing jar, some long, so it sized up on me, it went dry. And so what I did was I put some tung oil on, and I waited for the tung oil to get tacky, and I used that as the sizing, and never had an issue doing it that way either. So it's more about, it's got to be something that's gonna eventually dry and be able to bond and pull in that gilding, to keep it from going anywhere. So I have been successful with no, and you can't tell between what I did with polymerizing oil and with the sizing, with the paste glue. Essentially, that's all it is paste glue. It's been watered down.
Yeah, tung oil will take you half a day, wouldn't it?
Well,
To
not
mix it up,
not in my conditions.
No, okay, yeah, that's true. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Looks quality.
Yeah, that size, the standard sizing they have, it doesn't take a lot, and it goes on real thin, and in 15 minutes or 20 minutes, it's ready to work. And you can use it for the foil like Dane is doing. You can use it for the chameleon dust or the mica dust like I'm using. And it also works on the flakes. If you want to use the flakes, that works the same way. It's basically the same stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, mica powder, women's compound makeup, eyeshadow. Yeah, it all works.
Yep.
And then and then to get the clean lines, Jim, what I found was, so on my beads in between where I got the fillets at, I took the time to fill those crevices with thread, and then I did the sizing, put the gold leaf on, and then from there I pulled the thread off. And
Oh, I remember. Yeah.
Nice clean lines. So I was explaining that a few weeks ago when I had that process done when it was still on the lathe.
You mask off beyond the thread?
No.
You just stay within the limits, right?
Right, just stayed within the limits there.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
Because if you use masking tape, the sizing is going to get up underneath it. There's masking tape that will not stop it.
Okay. Okay.
Jane, do you finish the whole piece, like apply your finish before you put on the gold leaf and the sizing?
I have it ready for a finish. So in this case, this is dyed. So that means bold linseed oil was put on it to set the dye in to keep it from running, keep it from getting dirty during the turning, the hollowing process. And then, so whenever I dye, it's followed by bold linseed oil, and then it's sealed in with Perfix 3408.
Okay. When I used gold leaf, it went on okay, everything, but then I put like a wipe on poly over the whole thing afterwards, but I had just had a hard time getting all the little flecks of the gold leaf off the rest of the piece. It was just everywhere.
Yeah. So if you've got flecks that is stuck onto the wood, if you just take some painter's tape and stick on it, it'll lift it right off.
I think I was trying all kinds of different tape, but maybe not that kind of it.
Yeah. Blue painter's tape, it takes it right off.
Yeah, and we should probably reiterate the warning we added the last time we were talking about this, Dane, is make sure you've got absolutely no air currents or breezes going through your workspace when you're doing this, because it'll get everywhere.
Yeah, it will. Yeah.
All right, well, we got some more folks for gallery.
All right.
If that's all right, Dane?
Yeah, definitely. Let's go to the gallery.
Okay, Tim Hatch said he had some stuff to show.
Hey, so my lovely wife said, hey, it's time for me to get off my butt and make Christmas ornaments. And I haven't had a chance to get in the shop yet, but she bought me 2 books. The first one is called Wood Turning Wizardry. And it's made by a guy named David Spriggett. And
yes, it is.
Inside this book, I mean, it's got stuff kind of rivals Duxbury. But it also talks about different types of wood, gives you some wood identification, teaches you how to make some different tools, some different jigs, things like that. So I'll be going through that book. I also got a second book, Wood Turning Christmas Ornaments. And this is made by a guy by the name of Dale L. Nish. Unfortunately,
Dale Nish.
my computer's acting stupid, so I can't give you an Amazon link, but I'll hold that up. You guys take a look at it real quick. Somebody, please get a Amazon link for that, and if you could post it. And then also the Wood Turning Wizardry. Both books are pretty good. I'm one of those guys that not only do I love our website because it has everything in the world, but I also like to have a good book in my hand. So, you know, when I'm out in the shop, I don't always pull my computer out and I get some good ideas. So that's all I got. Unfortunately, no wood turning because I've been out training the troopies, but figured I'd share that with the rest of the group. So I appreciate it.
Right on. Thanks,
Dale Nish, the author of that book, was the original founder of the wood turning store over in Provo, Utah.
Craft Supplies.
Craft Supply, thank you. He was the original founder of Craft Supply.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yep.
He was a professor of industrial arts at BYU.
Yep.
Good information.
That's all I got. But like you said, we got tons of stuff on our website for folks that haven't been to the website. It's incredible between the videos and how-to stuff, but I always like to have another book on hand. So that's all I was bringing to the fight here. Thank you.
Right on. Thanks, Tim.
All right. Well, both of those books are links to them are in the chat now. For anybody who wants them, I have them both, and they're great books. Both of them are. So next up is Howard. What you got, Howard?
Hey, how's it going?
Roll
I've been
Tide.
seeing your stuff on Facebook, so I'm looking forward to what you got to show.
Good demo tonight. Real good demo. I like that. Yeah. I got a hollow form, and I won this piece of wood at a wood turners meeting. So the guy didn't know what it was, but when I was turning it, it smelled just like redwood, and he said it was a root. And so anyway, it's got just beautiful figure to it. I don't know if you see it or not, but it's just
some great figure.
That appears to
gorgeous.
be red. There's lots of redwood, and that looks like redwood.
Well, it smells like it, and it turns like it, and it. I think it is, but
I believe so.
But anyway, so
Peace.
that's all I got.
It's just beautiful. Is what it is. It's beautiful.
Yeah, it's beautiful, Howard.
Okay.
Yeah. Did somebody have a question? Oh, okay.
You had another piece that you posted last day or two here. I'd love to see that one also.
Yes.
Piercing piece.
The piercing at the top.
Didn't I show that last week?
No.
Yep.
I haven't seen that one before. So
Yeah.
I think
Yes,
I
you
have,
did.
but show it again.
This one?
Yep.
Was
Yeah,
this?
that one.
Beautiful.
Yeah, I thought I showed this last week, but I
You
may
did.
not have. But anyway,
That's
it'll
cool.
only hold water up to right there. That's so you get above that, it starts coming out.
There aren't any words to explain how pretty that is.
Yeah,
but
outstanding.
It is beautiful.
Is that one piece of wood or is it staved or what?
No, it's one piece.
Okay, gotcha.
I used to do segmenting staves and stuff, but man, you use so much glue. I mean, just
Yeah, but that's
It's a lot of, it's a lot of extra work.
Do what?
It's a lot of
What,
extra
Jim?
work.
But that size log's too damn heavy.
Hey, Howard, on that piece, did you find it a little difficult piercing through the thicker pieces of wood there? I've done piercings, but at about 1/8 of an inch, it starts to get difficult.
Well, I thought I had it less than this. I kept measuring, and I think my gauge was off, and it's about 5/16. I thought I had about 3/16. So when I started piercing it, I discovered, oh no, it's too thick. But I was already committed. So about a week later, I got finished with it. But yeah, it was a little bit.
So what'd you use to hollow it?
Just regular hollowing outfit. I got the Jameson hollowing outfit, and also got the Trent Bosch hollowing outfit.
And the size of this is what? How wide? How deep?
How deep down?
Yeah. And
I
wide.
think
I mean, it looks like a pretty big piece.
Yeah,
I mean, your hands don't look small.
It's 8-inch diameter here, and it's I think 11 inches tall.
That's a lot. That's a lot of hollowing.
Well, I've done lots bigger. Believe me, I tell you.
I mean, I'm
Go ahead.
looking to get to that one day.
Yeah. We'll start
Yeah,
small.
yeah,
Start
gorgeous.
small and work up. Keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger. But anyway, this India ink, and this is Magnolia, by the way. There's the bottom. Tell or not. And I just sprayed it with clear acrylic.
Yep.
And you got to do it real lightly because this India ink will melt from the acrylic. Ask me how I know that. So you do real light, keep doing real light, 4 or 5 real light. And after you get it covered, then you do a heavy spray on it. But you gotta be kind of careful because any ink will run, even though they say it's permanent. But acrylic will dissolve it. So anyway, so that's what's up here. And I burn around the edge of it. I don't know if you can tell that.
Yep.
But
sweet.
Yeah.
Thanks for showing the piece, Howard.
Okay.
Very much.
All right. But that's the one, right?
Yep.
Okay. All right. Good deal. That's all.
Thank you, Howard. Dane says he's got something. No sound, Dane. Dane, no sound.
I do, but since
There you are.
Doug was ahead of me here, so let's go to Doug with his question.
Well, it's just one of those things. Dane, it's been a month or so ago now, I believe it was
about a
Dane.
month.
Yeah.
Yep. About a month.
He had a piece and just asked our general ideas, questions. How would you make it better? How would you do it differently? And I just thought, let me ask you guys about this thing. I know a couple of things that I would do different. Try to get it so the light's not washing it out quite so bad. I know a couple of things I would do different with the next one. What are some of your ideas? What would make this a better piece, a more valuable piece?
So I think I missed the first part of it. It's got a ring that's
Yes.
like a Saturn bowl.
Yes.
Okay.
This outer ring rotates.
It would be neater if the ring had more detail on it, like a groove or two.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? You know what I would say? A finial.
Something more than just the knob.
Yep.
I would.
Is that a lid that's
I would-
sitting on it? There we go. Okay.
I think that that's excellent. I think that works really
Yeah,
well.
I
So
mean, of
I'm not
course,
sure
I
I'd
mean-
agree with a larger finial, but
No,
I think
no,
that
I mean, yeah, no, I was just saying because he's asking for different stuff.
Yeah.
okay.
You
My-
know,
when
but
when
I gotta
the
go
it's
do
a
my
gorgeous
cats. I'll be
piece.
back.
It's a
Sure.
gorgeous piece.
Doug, can you
as-
show the top of it?
To that.
Move it back. It's being washed out or something.
well, here, let me grab this light real quick. That'll help.
Is that cherry?
No, this is cotton or basswood.
Oh, basswood.
There we go.
Oh no.
Oh,
It's got a little bit of grain in it that really you could not see that grain until I got a little bit of finish on it, and it came out real nice. Now, back to Al's finial idea, that was mentioned yesterday. Ruby mentioned a finial, and I thought my immediate thought was, I was kind of thinking a knob, not just a finial, because there was no way to really. It's difficult to grab that unless you can actually
Of
get your
course,
hand
no,
around it.
what you have is just perfect. It's perfect. No,
Well, I wouldn't say
Hey,
that.
your question was, what would you do different? That's all I
Right,
would say.
right. Yeah,
But no,
my
Hey,
other
Doug.
thought was a short finial, but yes, sir.
Why
It's
not
gorgeous.
a ribbon finial like what Matt does on it?
Yeah, a ribbon, a shorter one, not
Right.
4, 5, 6 inches, but maybe 3 inches,
Right.
maybe. I think would put
Right.
it in the in proportion. The bowl. What did I say a while ago? I just measured this a minute ago. What is that? 2 3/4 tall. And so,
Does the
to
Does
keep
the
it in.
rim rotate? Does the
Yes, sir.
rim?
Yeah.
You might could put some embellishment on that ring of
Mm-hmm.
some sort.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yeah.
know, like the Sorby round. Let's see. Well, I don't know. One of those Sorby texturing
Yeah.
tools.
Right. The spiraling texturing tool.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Could do that.
But it's kind of thin. I'll be kind of careful with. Is that
Yeah.
basswood also?
Yes. That's all one piece of wood.
Well, if it's basswood, I don't know
I
if I would want to
separated-
texture that.
I separated the lid off, turned the bowl, and then before I came back to the lid, I separated the ring so that it
Yeah.
was loose and rotates.
Well, if it's
that's
basswood, I don't
fixed
think I
on.
would.
That doesn't come off.
If it's basswood, I don't think I would embellish it. It'd probably tear it to pieces. You know.
But if before I get it this thin, while it's thicker and still attached,
Right.
embellish just the top side might work
Right.
fine.
Well,
But
that
then
would
I
work.
could thin the bottom side,
Right.
then separate it. Yeah,
You could put spirals or something in it. Yeah, absolutely.
I think so. You'd have to do it before you separated it.
Yeah,
For sure.
while you still had meat there, while you still had
Right.
support. Yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
Are you familiar with those cup burrs?
I am. I don't have one, but yes, I know exactly what you're talking
You know,
about.
they're different sizes down,
Mhm.
16th up to 3/8.
Yeah. That would work very
Because
nicely.
it kind of looks like a solar system to me.
Right.
Looking
Well,
at it.
that's kind of the idea. This is the ring of Saturn.
Right.
The other thing that I thought of as far as proportions go, if this ring was wider, if it came out another half to 3/4 of an inch.
I don't
that
know
might-
about that. That'd be too much, I think.
Yeah, I like the size of that. In general, I like most of the bits of the bowl.
Yeah.
So yeah, I
I'm
would
back.
agree. I mean, it would give you maybe a little more room to do a little more embellishing if you made it
Mhm.
wider.
Right.
But it's a good size right now. I think it really suits the piece well. I like how it's all put together.
Yeah. I even thought yesterday it was a little bit small, but it's not bad the way it is. I know.
Yeah,
But-
it could be another half-inch wider, I guess, on each side.
Yeah. Just to give
Hey,
you
hey,
kind of
Doug?
see like that. It looks a little flying saucer-ish. Not so much planet. Having the bowl more of a sphere, more spherical, would have helped it, I think. I don't know. I'm
Yeah.
just
Added a
thinking out loud.
Superconductor, a super cool semiconductor, and it'll levitate for you too. There,
There you go. That'll work. That would work.
Magnets,
Yes.
So
Yeah.
magnets, so it always rotates by itself.
No, it's
Yeah.
fantastic the way it is.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and you,
dude.
you can
So,
embellish on, you can
oops,
embellish
sorry.
on the underside of the lid also. And
Yeah.
the inside of the lid. So
Right.
they're, you know, I tend to do that when I've got a lid like that, is I'll get the spiraling tool out and add some spirals and then put some
Right.
embellishing wax or something in the grooves and
And that would have been an
So-
easy thing to do.
yeah.
Doug, the lid.
yeah.
So I would make the lid. I think if you did the lid, make it look like it was emerging from the ring, and do away from the emerging part of it there. So you see how your lid sits down on, you know, your bowl's coming up.
Right.
I'd have the lid hiding, you know, that joint would be hiding down inside where the ring is. I think if you had another total width of a 1/2 inch in diameter on the ring, I think it would look more proportional.
I'm think that too.
And
Yeah.
then somebody was saying something about a finial. So a finial and a longer finial would work as long as it's within the golden ratio of the overall vessel. But either on
Right.
the short side, you know, the thickness divided by
Right.
1.618 or multiplied by
Mhm.
1.618.
Right.
The other thing that strikes me is I like the different colored wood for where the finial would be at, but it kind of it's missing some texture.
I would agree with that too.
And
Your idea of having the lid come down to the top of the ring, then there'd be nothing to hold the ring on.
Yeah.
How thick
Yeah,
is your
that's
ring?
right.
That ring is only what, 1/8 of an inch?
Okay.
3
But
millimeter.
it's actually a part. It's a part of the
Yeah,
wood. I mean,
right. I understand that.
Yeah.
But
I think what he's saying is make the top big enough where it would fit over.
That's a possibility. Yes.
Yeah.
That would be possible. Yeah.
I saw a Saturn bowl done a little while ago. It didn't have a loose ring. It didn't spin, but it was done as a sphere, and the ring on it was probably about 4 inches wide, and it just sat on the table kind of sideways and rested
Right.
on the ring.
Yes. Yes. And that's really, that same video is what I had in my mind when I started this, and I was browbeat by Ruby to do this.
A little bit of peer
Blame it on
pressure,
her.
huh?
Yes,
Blame it
yes,
on
a little.
her.
Yeah, she had all her stuff packed, ready. Well, in fact, she was sitting at the
Ruby
airport.
wouldn't do that.
Yes, she would. Trust me, she would. Yes, she likes to push people to do more than what they were intending. And when I said I was not going to do a rotating ring, she says, "You can do it." I said, "I've never done one." She said, "You can do it." I did, but it changed the whole 9 yards. As I started it, I had that in my head. I gotta, yeah.
Right.
But
I know how that peer pressure thing works, Doug. Dane does it to me all the time during my
Yeah.
demos.
I tend
Yeah,
to
he's
think,
done it during mine too.
oh, absolutely. I tend to
What are you guys
think,
trying to say?
I tend to think a finial, about a 3.5 inch finial on here. I'd have to measure it to get right in there, with our proportion right. Slightly
What's the
wider
overall-
rim.
What's the
What's it-
thickness? What's the overall
say,
height of your bowl?
Let me set it down here so I can get an actual measurement here. It's
If you
it's
put a
about
tall
2.5.
finial on it, you could put a base on it also.
There you go,
What's the height?
200 base.
It's
What's
it's
the over-
Little wing base.
not not counting the knob, it's two. There goes my camera again.
Not counting the knob, it's what?
2.5. 2.5.
So 4 inches would work.
Well, I'm
Or
trying to get my camera to cooperate here.
or 1 5/8 on the small end of the finial.
Okay. Yeah.
So
Yeah. And that's
1.55 or 4 inches for the
right.
for the
Yeah.
two ranges of the golden ratio.
The short one would only be this tall.
Right.
The other one would be about there.
Correct.
Yep.
But
Yep.
it can't but they can't be big and fat.
Right. Right. It would need
Yeah.
to actually have to taper up. Something that would kind of sit on this this part
Right.
nicely, maybe an onion, and then taper up something nice there. Yeah.
Well, one of the variations of the spiral ribbon finial is what they call a flame finial, which is sort of a hybrid between what I did in my piece and what Dane did in the top of his piece.
Right.
So you want something a little thinner and a little more ephemeral, however you say that word. Yeah, that'll work.
Yeah. Yeah.
You might
Anyway.
I was thinking something like this.
You might consider the top having more round to it than
Right.
the fat part of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a little flat. Sure.
Yeah, I got a
as-
little to add if I can break in there.
Yeah.
Can you bring me up a little bit? Maybe find my screen and I'll show a couple of pieces. This is the first one that I made, and it's all wrong. Of course, I make a lot of things that are wrong. The finial I was kind of happy with, and I've made several of these. The one problem with the finial is I've had them come back to me because they drop them and break them. And they come back to me. But when I made this one, I made a bead at the top to center the lid. And that's not the way to go. That's wrong, because if you look at it, the lid is larger than the bottom. See what I mean?
Bottom.
Yes.
Yep.
This is the bottom part underneath the ring. The ring's not rotating, it's fixed. But if you see
It doesn't
here,
flow.
it doesn't flow because the lid is bigger. And then so I made another one, and I made the finial heavier so they wouldn't break it. And it doesn't, I'm not real impressed with it. But I made this one, and I made the bead to center on the bottom of the lid instead of on the bottom of the box. And that way it flows. I can get it to see what you can get a pretty good picture of it there where it comes around pretty good. And
Yes.
it's got just a small base on it. The other ones, these are both mesquite. But I had some other ones that I sold, and they came back to me because they dropped them and wanted to know if I could rebuild the finial. So I made them a little heavier, and I don't really like them heavier, but I don't like them broke either. So, but it's pretty easy, but it's not a rotating ring. I never tried that. And this has got a little different base on it. But I just thought I'd show them to add a little to what they look like, but and show you that everything I do wrong, but I always do it wrong. So it's
Right on. Thanks, Terry.
Good job, Terry. But anyway, that's it. And I appreciate all those suggestions. There's a lot of good suggestions there. Again, just shows there's more than one way to skin the cat, you know. But anyway,
Yeah, you could also pierce that rim too.
Oh, absolutely, yes.
Because that would
even
look cool.
now, even now,
Yes. Yep.
I think
It's-
if it was
it's-
wider, particularly right now, there's not a lot of space there.
Right. You know, and I like the idea, whoever came up with that, the circle cutters, but I like the idea of a circle motif on the rim. That would be pretty, I think that's a great idea.
Yeah, that's only 7/8 of an inch there. If it was 1.25 inches, 1.5 inches, I think piercing would be a great suggestion.
Right.
Yeah, I think both of mine are like 1.5 inches, maybe 1.75 inches even.
Right.
Hey, Doug, you know what else?
What's that?
Think about a potpourri bowl.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you could pierce the lid. Yeah.
Sure, of course.
This lid's not particularly thin. I wasn't even worried about that.
Well, I'm just saying, there's so many things that you could do with that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
You know, it spins and it smells good.
All right. Well, thank you guys. I appreciate it. That's
right on.
That was one of the things we wanted to do, was just have some fun, talk about pieces, what could be different, yes, they're nice. They're all nice. Everything we put out here, everything we show, everything goes in our newsletter is beautiful. It's artwork. But there are also things that we can always do differently. So that's if you can take some suggestions, that's what it's all about.
Well, thanks for initiating the discussion. I think it was fruitful for all of us. So
absolutely,
and
only
good
way to
work
get
on the
better.
piece.
Only way to get better.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yep.
Oh,
Yeah, so
and
Mark
then
Soleil's.
also, go ahead. Yeah, go to Mark.
No, go ahead, Dan. Mark Soleil says he's got a piece, but go ahead, finish up your thought there.
And then so coinciding with that, with the fennial discussion, that brought this self-critique on that we're trying to do is, so once I turned the fennial and had the wafers, I dyed on the inside. Well, I dyed that section of the fennial because it doesn't matter, because it was not going to show through with the gold leaf. And then I filled the wafers with the thread, and then I gold leafed it, and then I pulled the thread off. And of course, you can't tell here on the camera, but you can see through the wafers, and you can see the shadow, the dark, the black in there.
Yeah.
Of giving that look that I was looking for on it. So
right.
So it worked.
I remember talking about that, Dane. Yeah. All right. So let's go over to Mark Soleil and see what he's got for us here. What you got, Mark? You're muted, brother. Mark, we can't. Oh, there.
There you go. Can you hear me?
Yes,
okay.
sir.
Here's what I'm going to show. This is a Banksia seed pod Christmas tree. Put a little fennial up on top, right? And take all those little hairs off. And take them off with a torch. And then, of course, after you sand it, then you spray it with some clear acrylic. And it's pretty good shape. And what I did is I had a tenon on the bottom so that I could make the little ornament up on the top. And so what you have to do to finish it off, to take the tenon off, you make a jam chuck with a hole in it that you can stick the fennial through, and that'll support it while you can cut the tenon off the bottom and do the undercut.
Nice.
Excellent.
I've sold hundreds of these things.
I bet.
But anyway, it's fun to do for Christmas. Just one caution: the little hairs on that float in the air like
fiberglass.
Like fiberglass or something. Just make sure you wear a mask and you have some air sucking out into an air filter or something like that. But they're real easy to do. And you have to take a dental pick and pick out the lining to the holes. Each little hole has a seed hull in it. And you just have to pick that out first. Anyway, that's an idea for Christmas. It's quick and easy.
You finished that with Parfix, right, Mark?
No, I sprayed that. I sprayed that with Krylon acrylic gloss so that you can get the, all the material down in those holes.
Right.
Nice.
Okay.
And then you can just, buff it out. Now, this is another place where a horsehair wheel is a winner because you don't get all the compound down in those holes.
Right.
All right.
Thanks,
That's
Mark.
it. Everybody have a good Thanksgiving.
Mark.
You too,
All right.
buddy.
Thank you, Mark.
All right.
All right, well, I don't have anybody else in gallery, Dane, so we can open up the floor again, I guess.
Yeah, let's open up the floor. Does anybody else have a piece that they would like to have some insightful conversation to take place on? No? Well, guess everybody.
I've got some pieces sitting here. I can tell you when I know what's wrong with them.
So I got a thought here. So I got a piece of brown mallee. Burl
That's
cap.
a terrible piece of wood. You need to send that to me, Dane.
Oh, I know, right? So it's about, it's probably.
Remember,
That's
the
about-
lid on my garbage can's always open, Dane.
Right? So it's about 10 inches long, and at the widest point, no, it might be 6.5 inches and probably 2¼ inches thick. What do you think your thoughts would be on making something out of that one piece while at the same time preserving all the pins?
You could inset a little mirror.
I would just make a shallow winged bowl out of it.
Yeah.
A hybrid cast?
No, no resin.
What'd you do?
I make a shallow live edge bowl.
You
And
could
then you
do
got all the spikes on top on the live edge.
either that, or you could
Well, first of all,
build up the base.
how would you hold the bottom in order to hollow the top?
Carefully.
Couple
Blue
different
lock.
ways. A couple different ways. Holding
Well,
it's not an issue.
Which one?
So 9 times out of 10, I'd put it between centers.
Right, exactly. But then how would you? Oh, wait. Okay. You're only. Okay. All right. Okay.
You could also build a frame around it and then mount the frame, and then you don't disturb anything on the piece.
Right.
You could inset something and make it hollow in there without ever touching that piece of wood.
Right.
Yeah, just make it a sculpture. I would just polish up the back side or the flat side and put a couple 2 prongs in there, make a base, and just have it stand on a shelf just like it is.
Yeah.
What?
Or maybe turn 2 shallow bowls on it. I saw one at one of the symposiums where they did not touch the back. They supported it in a frame and turned it off center and turned 2 small bowls on a long piece like that.
Yeah, that's kind of what's been mulling around in my head probably for the last 15 years since I've had this. But yeah, good confirmation on that. And then so I got another piece. So this is red mallee. And so it's 5.5, 6 inches long and 5 inches and 4 inches wide. And here at the deep end, it's about 3 inches thick. So again, you know, it's a burl cap. And so what I was thinking on doing, you know, I had the same idea, you know, with the double bowl, double hollow, and then putting it on some sort of a pedestal. Again, once again, not wanting to touch the pins, but it's a little bit bigger, a little bit more proportion.
I think the opposite. I think your outer bark, I think that should be your top.
Yeah.
Yep.
Top for a box?
I think that should be your top right there.
You could inset a little tea light candle or a pedestal candle in there and save all your little, pins. They'd be around the candle. And then you'd have, well, anyway, I don't know. Just,
I mean,
that's a
that's
good idea.
my 2 cents, but I mean, that's just natural, but natural gorgeousness. I mean, that's
Yeah.
nature. That's where I would expose everything. I would expose everything on that top.
Yeah, that's good.
That splice is man-made.
But the problem with that is when you do that, you're hiding all the beautiful grain that's down inside that piece.
Yeah, but look, baby, look what you're gonna go and give away.
Yeah, but
comes through when
no.
I would want to show off the grain that's in there. That's the beauty of those type of burls.
Yeah,
You just
me
get
too.
a maple burl or something that's a lot cheaper and keep the same kind of spikes because they have the same kind of spikes. Most burls do.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're going to turn it around and just put a candle in it, I would use a cheaper piece of burl myself.
I wouldn't put a candle in it. I would make a bowl. I would make a bowl on that, and it would bring again everything that you're seeing on the bottom. I wouldn't make just a candle, or I would make a little bowl with a candle in the middle. I mean, you could drill a hole and then make a bowl around it, and make a holder. It'll be a holder, but it'll be a bowl at the same time from the top, and you'll be able to see all of that bark on where your hand is holding. I would call this the bottom. What you're showing, I would call that the bottom. I would do the bowl on the top and make a little insert. How can I say it? Those things that I've been making, make a bowl and make a little insert in the middle and look at all that you would be able to look at.
I agree.
That's, I don't know.
Center the largest part of the piece at center on a flat board with carpet tape or double-sided tape, and create a hole on that largest portion, leaving the edge natural like it appears. You can add a second hole on the smaller piece, but I don't think it would be necessary. I just do the larger.
I like that, Tom.
Yeah,
I do.
like it too.
Yep.
Yeah. I'd use something similar to that. And I'd use the base, put it on a glue block so you don't waste any of that beautiful wood. Make it tenants and take antennas off. And I'd do a lot of vegetable, but I'd have it off center into the deeper part so you have a wider rim on the thinner part.
Mm-hmm.
And a thinner rim on the thicker part, showcasing the spikes and the burl. And no matter either way you turn the damn thing, the beautiful grain's going to come through when you hollow out the bowl. So I wouldn't waste that live edge spiky burl. Yeah.
Right, exactly. Well, like I'm saying, make some kind of a bowl and make some kind of an insert for a candle. But I would save all of that top. Make a little bowl and something to insert something. That's what I would do. That is gorgeous.
It is beautiful.
It is.
Here on the East Coast, I've never seen
beautiful.
anything like that. But
Yeah,
I
we
would
also
just
people get these and cut them up, throw them in resin, and turn a pin out of them.
Yeah.
There you go.
I had a small one laying around the shop forever, and I finally picked it up one day and just
There you
hollowed a
go.
little simple bowl in it.
There you go.
And
that's cool.
Just left it. I looked at it and looked at it and looked at it and thought about throwing it away and everything else. And I just turned a simple little bowl in the middle of it, and all the grain comes through nice and pretty, and just left it.
Yeah,
at that.
it doesn't do anybody any good gathering dust in your shop. Just make a decision and make something out of it.
Well, I'll tell you what, Terry, that's one of the prettiest
got all
pieces
kinds of
I've ever
time.
seen. That's
Eh.
Terry. That is a pretty piece.
There's a bunch more of it laying out on the bench. I keep picking it up and putting it back.
Well, I'm,
For
you know,
years.
if you want to get rid of it, you can always send it my way, Terry.
And
Or
they don't
mine.
have to be functional, they can be sculptural,
No. Well, yeah,
Absolutely.
right? So, I mean,
I have lots of those.
also depends on the market.
True. Yeah.
Yep. Okay. All right. Great. We had somebody come in and said he had something, but he's no longer in the meeting, so it's a moot point, I guess.
Joaquin's
Closing in
not
on the
with us
top of the.
tonight.
Well, who's that?
I say Joaquin's not with us tonight.
Joaquin has not made an appearance yet.
He demoed at our club meeting last week and did some small lanterns and had some real good ideas with them, and they come out really nice.
Matt,
maybe
can I
he'd
make
show
a
us one.
comment about your drill bit?
So here,
What's
let me go back to Tom Kenny here. So, and spotlight him for the piece that he has. Not everybody was able to see it.
Yeah, see? Something like that, that's what I do.
So this piece would be very fitting for the smaller piece that I've got. Yeah. So for those that's never seen Malley and seeing all the crazy eyes that's in that scalloped grain, it's a remarkable piece of wood that comes from Australia.
We're just
Dane, there's a technique I haven't tried, but I've seen described where people use a lot of hot melt glue on the prickly side and then use, I think it's acetone that dissolves the hot melt glue when you're all done turning it.
Right.
Be another way to grab it.
Acetone, you can literally take your hot glue, then put acetone on it. You can take your air gun and it'll blow right off during there.
Alcohol do the same thing.
When I did this piece, I didn't know that, so I wound up reversing it 2 or 3 different times and between centers and jam chucks and such.
Right. Yeah, I think what I'll do is I'll do a glue block, but I'll do a slant on the glue block to make that offset even more perfect for the larger sided of the burl to get a good excavation on it.
And the other rule is put the tool rest between you and this piece because it's a man eater. When that thing is whipping around.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Cut your hand right off.
Yeah.
Yep.
No blood stains on this one.
So you got a little bit of blood Malley in there too.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks, Tom. We
Thank
got
you.
a late entry. Got a late entry into the gallery, so I'm going to switch to Glenn and see what he's got. So, Glenn, what you got?
Well, you're talking about the red Malley burl. I had showed this one a while back, and what I had done, I didn't know about the glue block either, but I put it in between centers, and I turned the bottom side, and turned a little recess in it for a pedestal. And I still haven't quite finished with the pedestal, but yeah, I had turned it and because I wanted to try to preserve as much of all the spikes as I could, but I still wanted a recess in it. And then I turned it. I was just enough recess to be able to grab a hold of it, and then I was able to turn it. It's kind of thick in places, but then it got to the point where you're about to break through.
Yeah.
So this is how this was my idea on how I had done it. So
Right.
Lovely.
What's that?
Pardon?
Oh, that's the grain coming through on the red part there. It almost looked like
Yeah.
gilding cream coming down.
Yeah, I was wondering the same thing.
Oh, this here?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's part of that. Part of
Yeah,
the
sapwood.
outside. Yeah, because it's real. Well, that part right here, it's real thin in here, right in here. It's maybe
Mhm, mhm.
1/8 inch thick right there. So
Yeah. Makes for a gorgeous bowl. Beautiful.
yes.
It's a nice
Yeah,
looking
the
piece.
light's not hitting it very well, but it really is beautiful on the inside. I've seen it. The light's glaring it, but all that little grain and circles is in the inside too.
Right.
Very,
Just-
very
just
cool.
right, and you
Very
can
cool.
see it.
So Dane, I have a piece that I'd like some comments on too, since we're talking about burls.
Yeah, for sure. Scott.
So I got
What
this.
you got, Scott?
I got this piece a while back at a club meeting, and it's cherry, but it's pretty holy on the bottom. I don't think it's going to stay together if I turn it this way. But what about turning something on this end?
Yeah, you could get away with both sides. It all just depends on how you want to do it. Yeah, I'd be tempted to put the glue block on the bottom or a recess on the bottom on that flat part there, and then turn a bowl or something in the top. Yeah, on this side. And leave the natural edge.
Would you do it offset though? Try to get the bowl in this section?
Maybe.
I'd have
You got
part of the
straight
rim in that section.
Do a
You've
small
got
one.
squares. You've got some square sides from the chainsaw. So I would want to remove those somehow and turn the bowl inside of those, or leave the natural edge inside of those, because you don't want that square edge showing
Yeah.
up. You know what I mean?
I thought about turning it, trying to get it somewhat round and then offsetting it after that. It's actually been cut on a bandsaw. Somebody cut the kind
But
of
once you turn the base into a bowl, you're gonna remove all those square corners.
right.
I think you'll have the
Right.
best look or the gnarliest rim if you do it with the live edge bowl, because you're gonna have ripples and waves and highs and lows and almost like a cavern going through the one side of the rim. So
Right.
you can make that piece of feature within the rim of the live edge bowl. No
Yeah.
matter what, you're
the-
gonna have the burl grain coming through the bottom. But I would just turn it so the square corners are round. You could turn it oval to make it like a live edge bowl because it's longer than it is wide. Or you could cut it in half and do two smaller ones. Or you do two bowls in one. Or you offset one and you have a wider rim and a thinner rim on one side versus the other. There's so many possibilities, but I wouldn't waste that
No.
gnarly cavern looking whimsical live edge
Right.
bark
And
that
then
you
on
would
the
get.
sides, on the sides where it's square at, I would just take my, orbital sander and or some type of sander and get rid of those harsh, get rid of the harsh corners that the bandsaw left,
Or take it through the bandsaw and round it off a little.
or
Well,
that.
you could turn it.
But you don't want to.
It wouldn't take much to round it off a little bit.
No. Or you could take a angle grinder and shape it, make it even more whimsical, and then do a live edge bowl in the top.
Or that
And
as
then
well.
you'll have whimsical
Same,
bowls
yeah.
on the top side and the side of the live edge rim.
Right.
It allows you to massage the sides to get away from the 90 degrees left from the bandsaw.
Yeah, the guy that cut it didn't know what he was doing.
He didn't know what he had.
That's right. He was
He was
worried.
probably one of them flat workers.
I think what he was trying to do was stay away from the cracks that are in it or the voids that are in it.
Yeah. But yeah,
You can
that'd
make
make
that the future.
excellent natural edge.
All right.
Yes,
Yeah,
you
make
gotta
that
be
the
more
future.
careful when you cut that stuff on the bandsaw.
Right. Yeah. I know what you're saying. I've seen people screw up good burls on a bandsaw.
Yes, definitely.
Can I give you another idea?
Sure.
Certainly, Mark.
Okay, what I'm gonna do is, this is not a burl, but it's a piece sort of like that he has, where it's got a lot of natural weird stuff on it. What I do on these big pieces,
Where's
this is just a
getting
cherry
there.
burl. Can you guys see that?
Yep.
Yes, sir.
Yep, getting now, yep.
So what I do is I just put a recess in the top, and I put these little candle plates in, just so that they fit the thing, and then they can take the up to 4-inch candles. And that displays all the burl and the natural pieces and everything. And they're fun. There's no hollowing, there's no nothing. You just turn it around, you can expand your jaws in there, and you can, finish off the bottom. But it's a real nice way, whether you've got the Australian burls or whatever, to display some of the both the bird's eyes and some of the inclusions.
Hey, Mark, can you hold that up where we can see it better?
Okay, just a second. Let me let me take, I'm gonna take the plate, off. Let me see how I can do this.
No, we don't want to look at you.
I know what I'm saying. Just, let's see here. Let me put it out on the.
There we go.
There we go.
So what you're
Okay, then
doing,
you had the plate on it.
you're just taking the edge of the burl. Let me see where, there it is right there. See?
Yeah.
So you've got your bird's eyes and everything on there, but you've also got your inclusions,
Right.
right? And they're real simple to do. A candle plate's only about $4, and you just make a recess on it. It's that simple. But it's a
Great
big
idea.
one. I just sold.
It's a good
two.
idea, Mark. It looks great.
I just sold 2 of those this weekend at a show.
Make a great centerpiece for a holiday table.
But it shows everything about that burl. And ladies love them. They love candle. Anyway.
Right.
Thank you, Mark.
All right.
I'm gonna go
To that piece that he had, you could have all that weird stuff on top with just a recess, and you don't lose any of that artistic value, but it also becomes practical.
Hey, Mark, what was that insert you had on there?
It's called a candle plate, and you can get them on the internet,
Michaels.
Amazon.
Michaels and Hobby Lobby.
Yeah. And what I don't use the glass inserts anymore. I never knew about these candle plates, but the glass inserts are made in India. And if you try to put a round recess in a piece of wood, those things are made in India, and there's not a damn one of them that's round. So here you've got, I don't know if you can see that or not.
Yep.
Can you see the 3 little ball feet?
Yeah.
So now you can just keep taking your parting tool or whatever and just keep fitting it, and then it fits in there just nice. And it's solid. So I can't see what
Good
you're
idea.
seeing. But
Yeah,
they're
we can
called a candle plate. They've got them all different sizes, and being solid black, they match sort of the, see, they match the black on the inclusion stuff.
Thanks, Mark.
All right.
I think that's what it's gonna turn out to be, is one of them. I like that idea.
Well, the ladies love it, and you preserve the artifact, you know.
Yep, yep.
Tells a story.
Okay, well, Dale's got something to add to the discussion too.
Look at this big piece. Still got the bark on it.
Sure does.
And that's only about a third of the burl. And that's all I got because I was using my
What's the other
battery
side?
powered chainsaw and it ran out of battery. So my brother-in-law, whose neighbor's tree it was coming off of, that they'd already had the tree removed and this was on the stump, got his electric chainsaw that and 3 extension cords so we could reach it, and I used it to finish cutting this off, and it took over 2. That's
I
how
think
hard
we
it was. And
Pretty
this
cool.
and this piece is about 18 inches one way and 6 or 8 inches another. And for my lathe, I'm probably gonna have to cut it into thirds because all I've got is a lathe with a 10-inch swing. But I've been eyeing that burl ever since my brother-in-law moved into that house. And unfortunately, because his wife had a stroke, so he no longer has her income, he's had to move. So that's all I've been able to get because I would have been able to get more if my gas chainsaw worked, but it quit working and I haven't had the funds to get it fixed.
All right. Well, we lost your video feed, Dale. You must be having internet issues.
No, because I'm stuck. It's not frozen on my end. But it's gonna, I could tell this is gonna be fun to turn because it was like trying to cut stone. And
Probably.
it is heavy. I don't know for sure how much this weighs, but I'm guessing 20, 25 pounds at least. And to make sure
make it to fit your lathe.
Yeah, and to make sure it didn't crack, when I got it home that day, I sealed it good with Titebond 3, really thick. And that's what I wanted to show.
All right. Well, thanks, Dale. Appreciate that.
You're welcome.
All right. Well, we are past the top of the hour. Unless somebody else has got something they'd like to show real quick, we'll
Yeah,
call this.
I'd like to show something else real quick, if I
Who is
can.
this, Mark?
Yeah,
Mark?
it's Mark. Yeah,
Yeah, absolutely.
I didn't bring the gun. Okay, now here's a piece of plum. When you're talking about leaving, let me put the phone.
All right, you just muted yourself and turned your video off.
Okay.
We got your sound.
Okay.
There we go.
All right. There, let me get my camera. Okay, here's a piece where I've got the bark edge up there. You see that? I've got a little bit of bark up on the top. I've got the inset for the candle thing. And this wasn't, the ants had hollowed out this tree. See that? So the candle goes up on top. I've got a little bit of everything. And there's the ant chamber in there. See, it goes right through the whole candle. So any piece of garbage wood that I can find, right, I make something like that out of it, becomes practical. Here's one other one. Here's another one right here. This has got the glass in it. But your brain can go wild. You see that one?
Yes.
See, look at it. Well, what I'm saying, it becomes artistic, and we have those burls and all these wild things. Look at it and see, and I find that candles are very much fun to make out of all this stuff. And the ladies love it. So, oop, I better not let it drop.
Oh, don't drop that.
No. But anyway, I'm just trying to, where you can get the bark, you can get the inclusions, you can get all the natural stuff. Everybody throws that away, right? But it becomes the focal point when you go to a show. The ladies just love that stuff. And over the years, I've sold tons and tons of stuff, right? Just like that, because you're saving like the guy that was just on there with the bark, right? You can leave some of that bark and find something, leave a rough area and make everything else smooth. That becomes the focal point that everybody has to look at when they look at the piece.
Yeah.
And there's not a lot of work. All you're doing is just making a recess for the candle part, right? And there's no hollowing, there's no nothing. You know, it's simple. But you can get more money for something like that than just a plain piece of wood. And it's less work. Anyway.
Well, and people don't even have to put candles on them. They can put, crystal stones or something,
Well, yeah, they can, but you know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's just the uniqueness. Nobody else at the show will have one because they're all unique pieces. And you get away from, like, all of my tea light candles, right? Every one of them has an anomaly in it, right? A chamber or something, because everybody wants to make a little plain wood thing. Unless you've got a spectacular piece of wood, they're just ordinary and cheap. Well, instead, if you just take the rough stuff and you turn around and you make that the focal point and do something standard, you drill a 2-inch Forstner bit, you insert a tea light, and then you turn it around, you just expand your jaws in the hole you just drilled, and you take the tenon off, you're done. You've got a good piece, less than an hour in there. And let me tell you what, you can get some damn good money because it's art. It's no longer just a little tea light candle.
It's been my experience that a wax candle suffers in that environment. So I've always used the battery operated insert in mine.
Well, you can use the electric one, or
Hey, Mark. Hey, Mark.
Yes.
Why are you gonna cut him off for?
You know what? I'm gonna move my phone here. Okay. Now I'm gonna show you this piece, and I have been this piece. It's a piece of walnut, and it was given to me. It was cut up like this and like this. Can you see it?
Yes.
Okay. And I said, well, what am I going to do with that? Cut around and make some kind of a bowl out of it and something like that. Now, what you're saying to me and everybody. So, you know what? You see the way this looks right now? What you're saying to me is, now, if I give this sliver like this, look how much beauty would be with this.
Absolutely. Now, if you cut it, pull your hand across.
And then I was looking. Now the whole thing was I was going to cut this here and do something with it. And now when you were just talking, this is the side that I was looking at. Oh hell, I can't see how I could. But here's this knot coming out, so it could be like sliced here and save a part of this.
Exactly. Right. But now pull your hand across the Y. Pull your hand across the Y, across the top. No, the other way, from branch to branch. If you cut it along that way, right, then you get two pieces, right, with feather
Right,
fans.
right.
You get
With-
two
with
pieces
that.
to turn with the feather fans.
Right.
So now if you cut
I
it the
cannot
other,
believe
okay,
what
but
you
no.
were just talking tonight, and you just gave me the great idea that I was going to do with this. I cannot believe it.
So now just listen to what I have to say.
Yep.
Right? If you cut it across that Y and you use the cut and use this part as the bottom, then you get across the top of your candles or your tray, you get the feather fans that will
Right,
spread
right.
out. Now,
Right.
now just listen. This is very important. Very important. If you slice it the other way and the bifurcation, right down the middle of that where the two branches come in, you make a short side parallel to the trunk where the one branch comes out. Now straight down, go to the right of that hole. Yeah, now come from the top straight down parallel to the trunk. No, parallel to the center trunk. Parallel to the center. Right now, just come from that and drop straight down. And then you make a wide side on the other side of the bifurcation. Now you get a whalebone bowl. Right?
Okay, I got you.
And when you turn a whalebone bowl, you can get a lot of money for it.
I'm just saying, I just could not believe that you talked about taking parts of and leaving the outside, and here I was looking at this, and I was going to cut it and make a bunch of stupid stuff, but there's so much stuff that can be done.
Right. That becomes the God-given art.
Oh my God, there are so many ideas to do with this side and this side.
Well, what I used to do when I was on the road going all over the United States, I'd take a truckload of wood, and with a club, I'd spend about 3 hours, and the whole demonstration, I'd take my chainsaw. It's how to cut the wood to get the result you want.
That was fantastic. That's great. Oh my God. Wow.
But people throw away the God-given anomalies.